Yeah, good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a little project going on here. Countdown to Alaska is coming up. Got a little less than 6 weeks before we roll out, and we're taking one of my pickup trucks, an 03 F250, and wouldn't you know it, here a couple weeks ago the thing wouldn't throw a code on me. So I figured out what the code is, and I'm going to swap out the MAP sensor on it. It's a manifold pressure sensor, and it has something to do with the turbo functioning properly. And so I'm going to change that out and show you how I do it. It looks like it's pretty simple. Of course, I YouTubed it to check it out. But anyway, here's the I'll show you what it did in the dash. Yeah, through a check engine code. So I bought a code reader. It was only 30 bucks on Amazon. Ran the code. It's a P0237 turbocharger / supercharger boost sensor A circuit low. And so what I did is I Googled it up, and according to what Google said, it's either the sensor or the little vacuum hose that goes to the sensor. And so we're gonna change out both of them. They're not that expensive. I think I paid 80 bucks for the sensor and for the little hose. So might as well change out both. We got a 4,300 mile trip we're going on, so I want to make sure everything is functioning properly. And you know, with the turbo, that thing plays a critical role on your power. And so we're going to have a trailer hooked up behind here with some weight on it. So I want to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. So the MAP sensor is located, and here's the front of the truck. And right up under the edge of the dash here, there's 3 10mm bolts that you pull loose, and the sensor is on the back side of this plate. And so I guess there's some screws or something that holds it on. And then it's got this vacuum hose right here that runs down to the manifold. And it's kind of hard to see, but then it goes to the manifold right there, and it looks like there's something hanging loose there. So it may just be the hose, but I'm going to go ahead and change out both of them. Oh yeah, that thing just popped right off. So that's probably where it's you know, sucking air instead of reading the manifold pressure properly. Yeah, whatever was holding it on, it looks like it broke. Well, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and change the thing out. New sensor I bought it at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's like the part number on it is a AS223. It's a standard brand, so hopefully it's a decent brand. You never know these days about this stuff. You can buy something and be junk right out of the store, but I'm gonna try it out and see what happens. All right, got my 10mm wrench. Here's the 3 nuts I need to take off. They break loose pretty easy. And that hose is pretty dry rotted. It's stiff, so it needed to be changed out anyway. That's pretty simple. Pop that right off. It's kind of nappy looking. It's got a plug and the hose and the sensor. Looks like it's got 2 Torx head screws that hold the sensor on. So let me get a Torx head, and I'll get that right off. Oh wow, that's not getting good. The wiring is also destroyed on this connector. That could be another issue. I guess I'll have to get out the wiring tools and redo this connector, or redo the wiring, splice them back together. And that bites. I don't know what in the world caused that. This is a T20 Torx screws on here. So it looks like we got multiple issues going on. Broken wires, loose hose. This thing probably run a lot better once we get all this stuff squared away. So the only thing I need to do on this is just take off that plug. Looks like this red piece just slides down. And pops right off. Pretty simple. Yeah, the wiring that goes to this map sensor, it runs behind this plastic piece right there. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to get a utility knife and peel that tape back, and so I can get some working room on these wires. And then I'm going to get my splicing tools out, splice that back together with some heat shrink splicing, and then put the map sensor in, and then the vacuum hose that goes down to the manifold. And man, that should make a difference, because not only was the hose barely hanging on, but with all the wires broke, you know, it wasn't getting any type of sensing going on at all. It looks like it could have been chewed on, so I don't know if a mouse made its way up in here and chewed through my wires, but if he did, he's a little stinker. But anyway, I'm gonna go get my other tools and get this thing taken care of. All right, I went and got the rest of my tools. I want to cut this tape so I can get to these wires a little bit better. Hope I don't cut the wires while I'm doing it. All right, that should be plenty of working room. Go ahead and cut all these, get them the same length, and some fresh ends on them before I get started. These some tiny wires. All right, about an 18 gauge. Yep. Go ahead and get the other end. Get them. That's only one brown wire. So. Yeah, it looked like some little mice teeth may have been on there. All right, skin them back. Yeah, a couple weeks ago I just got there wiring up a friend of mine's truck that he drives. It's not his truck, but he drives for a company, and they just had a lot of work done to the truck, got it all fancied up, and didn't have anybody to get the wiring done on it, to hook up all the new lights and stuff. It was going to be several weeks for anybody to get to it, so he called me, and So I hooked him up, got them all wired in about a week's time. I may post a few pictures of that at some point. Mice and wiring, they don't go together very well. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'd be wanting to chew on some electrical wires. I figured that'd hurt your teeth. All right, let's match these up with these other ones. All right, get the heat shrink gun, shrink those down, and we can start putting everything back together. Here's my heat shrink gun. I bought that from Harbor Freight, I guess a year or so ago, and I've used it quite a bit. It works real well. I bought some attachments to go on it, and this one right here does real well for shrinking down connectors because it gets that heat on both sides of it. So you don't have to put the gun on both sides. Let me get these shrunk. And it does get hot. All right, got them shrunk down. Let them cool off for a second. I guess I'll go ahead and mount the new sensor on the little bracket that was new sensor. Looks just like the old one. Where the screws go in it from the other side. I guess it'll just make its own threads in there. Yep, sit in there just like that. Guess it's gonna give me an issue here trying to get these threads in. Started anyway. There we go. Go ahead and start this other side before I get it too tight and make sure the hole lines up. All right, got her mounted on there. This is new vacuum hose is going to go, just slides right on there, and it's got a little lip, so it won't even need a clamp on it. It should hold it in place. I'm going to get the old one, measure it. Alright, measure this out, make sure I got about the same length. Maybe give it another inch or so right there. I always like having extra. You can always cut some off, but you can't add it back. Alright. Smash this on. Yeah, that ain't coming off. I made a good seal on there. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna run that on the back side of there. Pull this back off. So I got a little bit more working room, and I don't have no wires sticking up there in the air to get smashed or nothing. Alright, snapped into place, red piece on. back down where it's supposed to go. These little 10mm nuts on there. Snug them down. I don't snug them down too much, so that's plastic. Put too much bite on them, liable to snap them studs off out of that plastic right there. All right, now got my drop light right here. Hope you can see what we're doing. There's the there's another hose running through here. Filling the back of it to make sure it don't have a hole wore through it or nothing. Might be kind of hard to get a video of this thing because this hose in the way. Hopefully y'all can see that. There's a piece sticking up right there, and this new hose is going to slide right down over the top of it. All right, it's all the way down. It is on there tight, so I'm not even going to worry about putting any type of compression clamp or anything on there. I don't think it needs it. Looky here, we got something else that's broke. Looks like a little bitty vacuum tube, and I don't even know what that goes to. This piece looks like right there. All kinds of stuff just falling off this thing. I guess that's what happens when you got something that's 22 years old. It looks like it's just jabbed in the end of it, maybe. I want to see if I can pull that out. Might not be able to. Anyway, I want to see if I can pull that out and just stab that other piece back in there. I don't know what this is actually going to. Oh, I know what it is. It's going to the heater core. This is some type of a sensor, I guess. Maybe some type of vacuum sensor. May have to Google that up and see what that goes to. Well, I was able to pull that little broke piece out of there. So I'm just going to stab this other one back in there and plug it back in. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it'd be better than what it was before, just hanging loose. Trim this off. I'm sure it's just got some type of a vacuum sensor for the heater. Just stab that on there real good. Alright, it's up in there real good. And just plugs back in right there. Oh man, this devil's brittle. Just notice there's a piece. Where did it go? Right there. Broke. I'll run out of hose here in a second if it keeps on breaking on me. All right, I'm going to go in here and clear this code out. Clear. Okay. Erase trouble codes. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Erasing codes. Erase done. Okay, let's go read them again. Make sure they're all out. No codes are stored in the module. Okay, well, I'm going to put up some tools and go take this thing for a test run and see what we get. All right, I got my tools all put up, so I'm going to take this truck for a test drive and see if that code will pop back up or if it cleared. I don't think it should come back on since we replaced everything and found those wires have been chewed into. So let me fire this thing up and let's see what Let's see how she runs. These code readers nowadays are fairly inexpensive. I got this one off Amazon for about 30 bucks, and it's got all types of features in there. And it's got one feature called live data. Well, it's not touch screen though. Let me get over there to it. Alright, so now there's nothing on it. Let me fire up the truck. Yeah, maybe it'll do better if I go read it with the truck running. And I can already tell the truck's running smoother than it was before. Before it would have little hiccups and stuff in it. Oh yeah, the MAP, man, it's kicking on up there. Hopefully you can see it on the screen, but before it was just stuck at 20. It wouldn't even move. RPMs, and then once they get moving, it'll also read the miles per hour. It's a pretty cool little code reader. So I'm gonna take off down the road and see how she does. Yeah, there's my old bull wagon. I pulled at least 500,000 miles or more. Got a guy driving in from Oklahoma on Wednesday to pick it up. It's gonna be the new owner. I already pulled the G5 porch light sign out, put him a blank one in there. And there's my 1985 flatbed trailer I just got through rebuilding. That's for sale as well. Hopefully somebody will buy it. I did everything to that trailer. It's 100% legit, ready to go. Let's go see how this truck runs. That MAP sensor, the map sensor, is definitely working. It's, you know, changing pressures and, you know, reading now, and before it was just stuck and it wouldn't even change on the screen. I was looking at it. So the truck seems to be running a lot better too. Good. Yeah, call this the tunnels right down the road from our house. There's an old mining road that goes over the top of it where they used to mine lignite coal, and then they sent it up to a smelter plant in the next town up. Man, whenever you're pulling through there in a semi truck, you got to center that thing. There's not a whole lot of room over the top of the truck and trailer. I went through there hundreds, if not thousands of times, but the truck is really running good now that that map sensor's been replaced. Yeah, it's running smooth. That fixed it. Good deal. Alright, just got back from the test run. I don't have any warning lights or any codes or anything on the dash, so all that work I did under the hood, which really wasn't that much, that fixed my problem. And that little gray vacuum tube that I found that was broke fixed my air conditioning. Before, you could only put it on the regular AC and get it to blow through the vents, and if you put it on max AC, it would blow out the defroster. Well, now it's blowing out the front vents, and then it's blowing ice cold. So my sister and brother-in-law should be happy about that on that trip up there. Of course, once we get into Canada, we probably won't need too much air conditioning in June. So anyway, glad y'all watched the video. I hope this may have helped out somebody. Changing out that MAP sensor. The sensor has something to do with the turbo and keeps it going and providing the proper boost and everything when you're rolling down the road. And if sensor's not working, or the tube's off of it, or you got a crack in the hose or something like that, then you're going to lose power and the truck's not going to run properly. The truck's not going to run smooth. And I was having quite a few issues, and I was thinking that maybe I had another injector going bad. You know, I've had this truck for years, and really the only problem I've ever had out of it has been injectors from time to time, and I usually put in one or two every couple of 3 years, and thought it may be time for another one. I'd already contacted my mechanic, but now I can send him a text and say, hey man, I fixed it myself, and I won't need to come see you before we do our trip. But anyway, we'll see y'all on the next video. Y'all have a great evening.